This is very annoying. Okay, we talked about this when that historical vids or whatever did that big post about the nuclear battery. China invents a nuclear battery, right? Remember?
Yes.
And it got millions of views.
Yes.
And it turns out it's false, it's debunked, it's fake. I don't like to see large accounts posting Chinese propaganda as if it's fact.
Yeah.
And then people picking up, and especially the Chinese propagandists pick up on it and run with it, right? So there's a big Twitter account called Wall Street Silver, which does all kinds of, I don't know, political commentary, and I guess...
Why is it called Wall Street
I guess they do
Silver?
something about Wall Street. I don't actually know.
Gotcha.
They posted this typical Chinese propaganda side by side. Look at the USA's subway and look at the Guangzhou Railway.
Yeah, this is actually very much in line with the campaign we've been seeing from all of the CCP shills.
Yeah.
They make these videos where it's this versus thing. In fact, I parodied it on my new video, on my thumbnail.
Yeah.
It's this USA bad, China good, and they put this together. But what we didn't see is accounts outside of the shill verse, like the CCP shill verse using this kind of stuff.
So anyway, this is incredibly disingenuous, and it actually made me a little bit angry because you see that tweet got whatever 7.5 million views or more, okay, of people saying that, yeah, look at how amazing China's subway is. Here's the US subway in New York, and they showed like during floods or something where water's pouring down the stairs, the subway station is flooded and it's a mess. So they showed like, here is the New York subway during a natural disaster.
Yeah.
And here's a pristine, brand new, newly opened subway station in Guangzhou or wherever, right?
Yeah.
And they put it side by side as if it's some kind of an equal comparison. And it made me mad specifically because if you've been watching the show, we covered this last year.
Yeah.
When the Zhengzhou floods happened in Zhengzhou, people drowned inside the subway because the authorities absolutely refused to shut anything down. They knew the floodwaters were coming because they'd opened up the floodgates. They knew the floodwaters were coming, but they didn't want to upset the higher-ups, so they didn't stop the subway service. And there are horrifying videos of people stuck in the subway as it's filling up with water, filming and live streaming that, hey, we can't get out of here, the water's rising. And, hundreds of people, if not thousands of people died during the floods, not just in the subway, but in that big tunnel and everything.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to compare apples to apples, you can take a look at that subway footage of the flooding in New York City, which I'm pretty sure no one died because we would have heard about it. The entire world would have heard about it if people drowned in the New York subway. All right? And if you want to compare it to when badly planned and badly managed subway stations and systems in China are flooded, where people die.
Yeah. And it just goes beyond that too. I mean, these comparison things are so dumb.
They're so dumb. You can't cherry pick and say, look at this 100-year-old thing during a natural disaster, and look at this brand new thing that's just been built like a month ago.
What they'll do is they'll show like a homeless drug addict guy laying on the stairs, right, in San Francisco or something.
Sure.
And then the other picture is China, and it's like a high-speed rail.
Yes, you kind of compare.
Yeah,
they don't.
What do they have to do with each other?
The reason why I'm pointing this out is I just want people to be aware of the fact that Chinese propaganda is now slipping into the mainstream.
It looks like it.
Absolutely. If you've got big accounts tweeting stuff out like this without any real context, without actually understanding the situation, and then it's getting boosted by, above me, I've blanked out their names, but very well-known Chinese propagandists are running with this.
Yes.
They love it. They're like, yes, look, USA bad, China good. Meanwhile, it's completely out of context, and it is straight up Chinese propaganda.
Yes.
China has been trying to do this Uyghur genocide denial, the problems that they're doing in Xinjiang, the bad things the government's doing in Xinjiang. They've been trying so hard to hide it. They've got dedicated Twitter accounts that are called like Uyghur lifestyle, things like that, right?
Yes.
Where they've got non-stop like propaganda about Xinjiang, how amazing it is and how the West lies and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So this was tweeted out. They said, believe it or not, we really love dancing and we dance at every happy occasion in Xinjiang. And it shows two Uyghur women dancing in front of a 2-liter bottle of Pepsi.
Here's the deal. we talked about this, how China really screwed up their genocide denial stuff by constantly making these accounts, by making Uyghur people say, no, there's no genocide, we love to dance, and showing them dance and show how happy they are. And that was one of the most on-the-nose, disturbing as well.
Yeah.
Kind of gotcha moments. Look at all these happy Uyghur people dancing. There's no genocide if they're dancing, right?
Yeah.
And that became like a pervasive thing. Like everyone around the world is like, they keep showing these dancing Uyghur people. Like it's so obvious
dancing
what they're
minorities,
doing, right? And then instead of saying, well, we better not do this propaganda campaign anymore, people have figured it out.
Yeah.
The Xinjiang police files came out. All of these eyewitness reports came out.
The Chinese government
escaped.
themselves have admitted that
Yes.
they are re-education camps and all that kind of stuff, right?
It's horrible. It's been proven time and time again, right? What do? They double down and say, no, it's actually true. They really do love dancing.
Yes.
Put this stuff
we
out.
dance. We just dance at the drop of a hat. Anything happy happens. And, you know, you could reinterpret that. Be like, hey, the Chinese government said we have to dance and then we can consume this meager feast.
Yes.
You know? And if you notice, they always lay out this feast as if everyone's
It's something I noticed. Remember when I
Yeah.
uncovered like the thousands of accounts on YouTube that were putting out like anti-Pompeo messages where they're forcing Uyghurs to be like, no, there is no genocide here. And the Chinese government went around with this campaign and it was so obvious. They just blasted the internet with all these videos. There was always these platters of food left out. It was always untouched, right?
Yes.
And it's like people dancing in front of it or have it spread out there being like, there is no genocide in Xinjiang. And there's all this like exorbitant food and grapes and pastries and, you know.
It's crazy. It's like they let them drink a quarter of that bottle of Pepsi and then they're like, now dance.
Yes.
You want any more? Dance.
Yeah.
You know, and then after they're done dancing, they're like, okay, you can leave now. And that feast doesn't get touched. No one can eat it. But I mean, come on. Asking the audience once again, how genuine do you think this is? Do you think that Uyghur people literally just get up and dance because they are going to have a meal?
At every occasion.
At every occasion.
Yes, that's what the Chinese government
They
says.
like successfully take a turd in the bathroom and they're like, woo,
Yes.
get up and dance. You know what I mean? Anything happens to them and they start dancing.
It's nuts.
It's stupid. And the Chinese government keeps pushing this dancing Uyghur narrative everywhere you look.
Yeah.
All you can see are dancing Uyghurs as if they can't do anything
Do you know
else.
why? It's so unsuccessful, this propaganda campaign. It's blown up in their face time and time again, but somebody really important came up with this.
Yeah.
And they can't be wrong. And that's what's wonderful and bad about China is that someone can push something so far and it's not working, or it's like blown up in their face, or it's like it's very unsuccessful, or it's actually exposing a problem.
It is.
But at the same time, nothing can be done about it because if that guy's wrong, then heads roll.
Yeah.
So it's this weird. That's how China works,
Yeah.
right? And it's actually how it will be China's downfall at some point.
It has to
if,
be, yeah.
if no one can answer to the truth or what actually happens or works.
I can tell you what, when you see dancing Uyghurs in Chinese propaganda, you know something bad is going on.
It's a dog whistle.
Yeah, it's literally there to try and cover up something bad happening.
They used to show pandas.
Yeah.
That used to be like if something really bad in China happened, like there's a big protest about like defaulting loans, they'll show pandas. Now they show dancing Uyghurs.
You know why there's been a big resurgence of this shit? Excuse the language. Is last week we covered it, the VW thing.
Yeah.
The whole using Xinjiang Uyghur forced labor, the new report from Adrian Zenz has now really put the whole forced labor, slave labor, the Uyghur situation into the spotlight once again.
And now it has to be investigated
Yeah,
again.
and so now all of a sudden you're seeing dancing Uyghurs left and right.
Yeah.
It's so dumb. Chinese
Slopaganda. government,
you are stupid. You are slopaganda.
Yes. Anyway, poor people that have to do this like
Yeah.
North Korean gunpoint dance for me thing.
Yes.
You know, like
That's such Chinese humor. Let's see what he's doing.
今天心情不太好，我莫名。
That's funny.